when it comes to acquisitions, why is storage the superior asset class?
Yeah, Alex, I'm going to start off with this one before I turn it over to Scott. And, I know you well enough, Alex, to know that you've got a broad range of listeners. And I want to try very quickly, if I can, to speak to all of them. Starting with the folks who maybe are early on in their journey, the ones that Ryan was maybe just speaking toward. For them, what I think I like about both of these assets is the low barrier to entry, right? To Ryan's point, you can get into either asset class for $100,000 or $200,000 property. How much you have to put into that? Maybe nothing, maybe a small down payment. Doesn't much matter. I think both asset classes offer that. But where storage takes a distinct advantage is that we hit in the storage industry economies of scale for profitability far sooner than mobile home park operators do. We've got things that are so in our favor when you compare the two industries that we can make good money on very small properties without having to pick up the broom or the plunger or do the credit checks ourselves. We've got automation, remote management. Our income to expense ratio is lower, so there's a higher margin for error, and we'll touch more on that later. But like I said, we don't have to show units or do credit checks. We don't have to deal with owning property like park-owned homes that so many mobile home park operators will tell you are the bane of their existence. So for the newer investor, this is storage is a clear front runner when it comes to getting started, just because you can get to those economies of scale sooner. Now, if we flip the coin a little bit and talk more towards some folks that maybe have more experience, maybe they're playing at a little quote unquote higher level, I think it's really important to look at the state of the industry as a whole. How has it been trending for the last 10 years? And based on that, where do we see it going in the future? And again, similarity between both asset classes is this idea of consolidation, meaning the biggest players in the industry, the REITs, the big guys, the Kevin Bupps and the Scott Meyers of the world, they are taking more of the market share as time goes by. And I think we can all agree that that's kind of both a blessing and a curse. As the consolidation happens, cap rates can compress and the value of our properties can go up, which is clearly a good thing. And again, it's true in both industries or both asset class. But I think the more important consideration is if we look at the curse embedded in this consolidation and if you think about it, as the big guys are expanding into the market, it becomes harder for smaller operators and investors. And when I say smaller, I mean anyone other than the big REITs. It becomes harder for them to get in the game. Now, here's the key difference, right? If you look, as the consolidation occurs, storage is still a flourishing industry. There's still construction that we'll talk about later. There's new development. Simply put, mobile home parks aren't being built anymore because the municipalities don't want them, right? So I hate to say this, but if you're getting into mobile home parks today, you're signing up for buying into an industry that is essentially dying a long, slow death and no change in sight on the horizon. You're also signing up for a life of fighting City Hall. So if that's what you're looking for, then maybe mobile home parks is a thing, but I'm going to personally choose to stay in the realm of storage.